All right, we are huffing and puffing and picking as I'm doing another walk and talk. So this one, I was not going to really talk about it before because I already did a video where I covered some of the problems with tariffs, at least how they're being implemented now. But obviously it's in the news. A lot of people wanted to know, my thoughts on it. They're coming into the live streams and asking. And so here's my overall thoughts. Tariffs are not bad. We've done them forever. Tariffs are a good thing, but it depends on how you do them. It depends on how you implement them. Let's just say the current administration is not doing them well. It's not doing them well at all because it doesn't feel focused. It feels very random. And there's another problem with it too. The stability of it. He being daddy, big old daddy orange, he is not sticking to anything. He'll announce a tariff and then it's off. Then all of a sudden it's back on. Then it's a different price. And then it's back off again. He's not being consistent. And when you are doing as big of a thing as he's doing right now, which is tariffing pretty much the world, I mean, just going ham hock, it's going to have serious repercussions if you don't stick to it. I'm telling you right now, he's not going to stick to it. This is going to be really bad. The stock market absolutely tanked, which I'll be honest, other than the fact that my parents rely on that for their retirement, I don't really care about the stock market all that much. I mean, I always see it as just gambling for rich people for the most part. But either way, how a tariff works. Tariff is designed to shift back production to your country. So if we want to, bring back more lumber industry, electronic industries, that's what you would do. You would put up a tariff that is essentially a tax that will prevent, companies from going overseas and using cheaper labor. So like China, for example, we can't compete with China's minimum wage. Because I don't really know if there is one. like over there, they work for much less than we do, even though I don't think our minimum wage is very good either, but it's much better than theirs. And so the idea is to stop them from being able to give us as much cheap shit, and then it shifts focus back here. So, more businesses will start up here, factories will start up, production will start up, but the problem is you have to have a long-term plan for that. You've got to have like at least a couple years. I mean, ideally, from what I've seen, it's like 10 to 20, but 2 years, 3 years at least, where you really, really pump a bunch of money into the economy, specifically into businesses, so they can start up these new factories, these new businesses, these new locations, to make up for the goods that we're going to lose. The thing that I think a lot of people are confused about, though, is either way, prices are going to stay high. I mean, that's just all there is to it. The trade-off is that we're not reliant on other countries as much. We're reliant on us, which in theory means we're going to have more jobs. You're supposed to end up having higher wages because there's more profitability, but I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Rich people are not going to do that. They are going to shift again, this isn't even going to happen because I think the tariffs are going to fail. But if they worked and let's say they did drive up the overall economy and profits, rich people are just going to do stock buybacks. They're just going to put that back into their own pockets and their investors. They're not going to raise wages. So you're looking at, even if they're successful, prices are going to be higher no matter what. And this kind of goes back on the idea that this guy ran on lowering everything. Like that was his whole thing. Now he was kind of talking, talking out of his ass, because he was talking about tariffs the whole time too, while he was running. But how can you, and I'm really curious, for the people that support him, that still watch these walk and talks, how can you support the fact that he said on the campaign trail, day one, I'm going to lower the prices of everything. Eggs, gas, rent, everything's going to go back down. It's going to be much more affordable to be an American. And now, well, we're almost 3 months in, and they are basically saying, well, it's going to take a long time and it's going to hurt, and we're going to have to raise prices even higher to do it. We're going to have to potentially tank the economy. I mean, recession seems very likely. It probably was already happening anyway soon, because, you know, we're addicted to cheap goods, wages are stagnant. There's just a lot of indicators that would show that recession's on its way. But this is, it's going to speed it up. What happens if we get a Great Depression situation? Because the last Great Depression we had, I'm learning a little more about it. Remember, layman here. But that was kind of kicked into high gear by tariffs because they were just improperly done. So again, tariffs can be good. They can. I am 100% an America first, pro-libtard here. Like, I think we should have more manufacturing here. And I don't even mind paying more to get that to happen, because, you know, in theory, again, the more manufacturing that you have here instead of overseas, the more jobs we create and the more wages should go up, even though I don't think they will. But this is chaos. He's the chaos administration. His entire thing is he just does things. He doesn't plan anything out. You know, he uses smart people that have no experience in whatever category he's trying to manipulate. And that's just a disaster. It's not working. If he was more calculated and he was using, you know, actual economic experts to do these tariffs right, I would be on board 100%. I think a bunch of liberals would definitely just oppose them no matter what, because they're just anti-Trump no matter what. Not me. I would be okay with that, because the tariffs can be great. But I also have another question. You know, what is it going to take? I want to keep asking this, because it's not being answered, which to me is the answer. If you're not willing to answer this, you're basically just saying there is nothing that can be done that would turn you on him. But what is it going to take? Because he's not lowering the price of goods at all. He's tanking the economy. 401ks are taking a hit right now. We lost, I think it was like $4 to $6 trillion, maybe more, in the stock market. And this guy was quoted under Obama as saying that if the stock market takes a huge hit in a short period of time, the president should step down. Well, I guess that's rules for thee, not for me, because he just did that on steroids, and he's not going anywhere. Also, dude, we are, I guess, legitimately ramping up potential war invading Greenland. Iran is also on the table. He's making threats to them. Panama is still on the table. You know, sending in, apparently they've started the early part of getting ready to send in the troops into Mexico to go after the cartels, which would be an act of war. So he's not anti-war. And I hate this idea that, well, he hasn't started a new one, but he's doing war things. I mean, I have a prediction though. If he does actually invade a new country and start a new war, I don't think MAGA's going to care. It'll just be justifications no matter what. Endless excuses. I will get a shout out to my libertarian brothers and sisters out there, because I used to give them a bad rap. I feel bad about it. I used to shit on libertarians a lot, but I probably have more in common with libertarians than I do with most other political parties at this point, because progressives and libertarians share a lot of things. Like, we're all pro-drugs. You know, the country, the government should not tell you what you can and can't do, put in your body. They're also totally anti-war. They do not want that to happen. And a lot of libertarians, very cool to see, are just coming out and saying, if he actually invades somewhere, I'm done. I'm not gonna follow this guy anymore. Now, I would argue he's already doing a lot of warlike things. I mean, it should piss them off, but if that's what it takes to get them there, that's good enough for me. It's one of those situations where, again, if you even talk about anything he does and you don't just praise it nonstop, You get absolutely criticized. You get told you have, Trump derangement syndrome. But yet, if anybody that they don't like does the same stuff he does, all of a sudden it's an emergency. This is terrible. It's treason. They have to be arrested. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. These tariffs could have been great. They could have been a good thing. But the way he's handling it, it's just not great. And I hate that on my previous video of Walk and Talk, I talked about how Elon and some of the Trump people, in regards to cutting Social Security, were talking about how, well, if they cut it, and the people who are the loudest are the people who are clearly the fraudsters. Well, they're starting to say that about the tariff situation. Like, I'm seeing talking points of, if you're not a fan of the tariffs, the way they're being implemented, if you are screaming the loudest about it and the biggest criticisms, well, then it must be working. It's going well. That is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. If you are absolutely screwing up across the board and you think people criticizing you and telling you, man, no, you're wrong. This is why you're wrong. You should have done it this way. And there's a lot of that. And you go, that means I'm doing it right. It's just, oh man, I'm so tired of the working backwards from your conclusions political model, because that is legitimately how the country's being ran now. Just no matter what, I am right. And if anybody criticizes me or calls me out on it, even if they are experts in their field or they had the facts to back up why I'm wrong, instead of course correcting like a normal person should, it just turns into, well, I guess I'm doing a great job. I guess this is going really well. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the tariffs. I think that they're all over the place. They're insane. And it just, like some people have pointed out, it feels like it's like an AI decided to put random tariffs on random countries. China has now responded, and they put one on us. There's even talks of other countries doing like a flat out ban just to stick it to us. I mean, this is just like, me and Chris had a thing back in the day that always makes me laugh, but he and I both had exes that we did not have good endings with, that things didn't go well. And we always joked that, like, we'd be sitting down at the table and I would say, so I'd like make fun of him. I'd be like a little, friendly jab. And he would go, I'll call her right now. And then I look at him and I go, oh yeah? Well, I'll call her. And then we're like, it's mutual destruction. We're like, we're both going to take each other out. And that's what this feels like. Instead of trying to just bring industry back to the country, it feels like we are just doing random shit because something has to be done. You can't just do anything slowly anymore in this era. So yeah, I'm curious what you guys think. It is a confusing topic for sure. And I think that that's why we're seeing a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about. Instead of being like me, I'm trying to give you guys kind of like a layman's take, kind of give you a broad general idea. I'm just seeing a lot of people who just think they know it all. And yet they can't give you one actual reason why this would work. So yeah, I'm not a fan of tanking the economy to save the economy. I don't think that that's going to be very successful. Again, tax the rich. That's what will do it. We will save the economy if we just tax the shit out of the rich. But unfortunately, the rich are running everything, so they're not going to want to do that. They're not going to want to self-harm at that point. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on the tariffs? Not a fan. All right, see you soon. Bye.
Reckless eating! Reckless eating!